I've heard sometimes leaders choose to do things in different ways. Sometimes leaders think that the right way to lead is walking ahead of the pack. Sometimes they say that the leader should be behind the pack just to guarantee their safety. Jesus, as the first or the leader of the disciples, he chose the first style, walking ahead of them. And in this way, leading the way. And this was his habitual way of leading. He always was walking in front of the disciples. We hear many times in the Gospels that Jesus turns back to them to address them. So that's why today I was surprised when when the text says that as they were walking to Jerusalem, Jesus was ahead and the disciples were amazed and afraid. Why? I mean, why would they be amazed or afraid if that's what Jesus did all the time? Why suddenly they get amazed or afraid of what they probably witnessed throughout their public ministry so many times? Well, the answer is within the same gospel. It says, first they were amazed because Jesus announces what's going to happen to him in Jerusalem, but they are amazed of his determination in walking first to his unfortunate destiny. Jesus doesn't seem to be hesitant or doubtful or second-guessing himself, but rather he goes first with determination to Jerusalem where he knows he will face his own death. So I think that the disciples, knowing where he was going, they were surprised at his strength in pursuing God's will for himself. But what about fear? It says they were amazed, but they were also fearful. Where does the fear come from? The disciples knew that in following Jesus, they were also called to his same fate. That's why they are fearful, because they knew that those who walk behind their leader, in a sense, they're also called to share in his destiny. So, amazed, but also scared, knowing that they will also have to face the same fate. And I think this fear of being his disciple is something that we can all understand and relate. Do you guys remember when Jesus first called Peter? What was Peter's reaction? Stay away from me, I'm a sinner. I'm not sure if I want to give up on my own life and be your disciple and share in your faith. Stay away from me, I don't deserve this. I'm a little afraid. Not too long ago, I was talking with someone who was telling me, Father, I'm afraid. I don't know where this in my spiritual life is leading. Does it mean I'm going to be a nun? Does it mean I have to give up on listening to music that I like? Like, where is this leading? So many times, I think we can relate with this fear of being his disciple and asking ourselves, how much of myself do I have to give up? How much of myself will have to die on the cross too? But I think I have encouraging words for each one of us who find fear in being his disciple and knowing that we will have to die to self in the same way that he died to himself. Think about Peter. He said, stay away from me. I'm a sinner. Peter was saying, I just want to be a fisherman. And Jesus made him a fisherman, but a fisher of men. So he responded to his desires in even a greater way. Or think about today, James and John, they tell Jesus, we want to be the first. Jesus fulfilled their desires because James was the first in being a martyr. So where I'm getting at, we say or we feel afraid because we think we're going to give up on ourselves. But what Jesus shows us is that when we pursue him, he gives us what we're looking for, just in a better way. So, what is it that you're afraid of today? What is it in your spiritual life that you're afraid of giving up? In what way are you afraid of dying to self? In going with him to Jerusalem, in what way are you scared? I just want to remind you, whatever that he is inviting you to die to or to give up on, he will return it to you in a much better way.